I use drawing from observation a lot. Drawing outside is really important in my practice in that I'm often talking about the world around me, and so it sort of roots me in the real world. Whereas I think that drawing sort of takes on another form when I come back to the studio in many ways. I start by rearranging and reconstructing drawings from life, drawings from events from memory, from mediated imagery from places like Instagram, for example, all of which I sort of almost collage back together in a way and hope that it looks sort of like plausible, seamless imagery. When I'm back in the studio and I'm not working from life, I might make multiple colour studies which sort of affect the way that you think about mood and the way you think about composition. They become more imaginative, and that composition then becomes about thinking about colour and how we travel through an image through colour as well as the sort of more linear aspect. I enlarge these drawings on the wall and take them down and work on the floor. I suppose they end up almost being like carpets or something for a while, that I work in sort of patches and they sort of grow, and it's not until they go back on the wall that I sort of see the entirety of the image. I hope that in the images that the drawing element sort of allows you to travel around and to sort of get lost within the image, or not to settle in the image. Within these particular works that I've been producing, there's definitely a feeling that all of the figures are in scenarios that feel like they're somewhat in the middle. They're in a sort of middling space, in the middle of a journey somewhere, or in a temporary situation. They're up a tree or, in a tent. And there's a feeling that these cumulatively could almost be a snapshot of a weekend away, a holiday weekend away in Britain, or on an Instagram feed. And probably behind that they're sort of referencing precarious structures or temporary structures, that being personal, cultural and political. Definitely representing contemporary culture, but also maybe themes of identity and cultural heritage and how we interact with one another and the world around us. I'm often touching upon sort of ideas, or sort of looking at ideas around displacement in a way, through a sort of diaspora perspective, or sort of outsider perspective. I'd say that the figures kind of fill in for someone in the way that I suppose an actor would perform a play. These figures sort of inhabit a particular person, but they're not necessarily the sort of the person that I'm really talking about. I think that when I'm making the paintings, especially with the figures, I'm trying to believe them. So even if they're fictional, I'm trying, and they are inhabiting someone else, they need to feel believable. You know that moment when you might not know the person at all, but you sort of meet someone's eye, and you sort of, like, in that moment, you sort of know everything, even if you know nothing. It's sort of that kind of moment that I'm trying to reach. I suppose it's a sort of compassion or something that I sort of, until I get that in the eye, I'm sort of, trying to believe them.